Hello and welcome to this edition of FiTV. I'm your host, Brad Swanson. We are here at the opening day of the 2021 Florida legislative session. I'm joined by Jason Delgado of Florida Politics, the famed publisher of publications like Sunburn and Last Call. Jason, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so exciting. We're here. There's lots of pageantry, but of course, Florida Politics is looking beyond that and looking at what's actually going on in the Capitol. What did you see today in the speeches from the governor to Speaker Sprowls and Wilton Simpson? What are you seeing?
Plenty of pageantry. We saw almost a divergence between House Speaker Chris Sprowls and then Wilton Simpson over in the Senate. Two different narratives. They're on the same page, but it seems as if the House is maybe taking a more cultural, ambitious route, while President Simpson's more playing to his vest, maybe a little more reserved.
Right.
Than the others. There was also no mention of criminal justice, which was something I thought was interesting.
Interesting. They've been very big on that over the last couple of years. Are we looking at Senator Brandes to be leading those issues, or where do you expect criminal justice to be coming out of? Which senators, which representatives, and what's going to be the narrative there?
It may be Brandes. What I do know is that despite having kind of harped, or maybe feeding the idea of criminal justice reform, we didn't hear it today. And I know the opening day isn't a foretelling of what will happen. But there is a point that the kind of criminal justice reform package that was presented, over a dozen bills, none of them have moved yet. Meanwhile, COVID liability protections,
of course.
Oh, it's pedal to the metal.
Right. So we think about COVID. You know, every legislative session, there's the issue that takes the oxygen out of the room. COVID took the oxygen out of the state, the nation, and the globe before we even got here. Is there another issue that you're seeing that could potentially be that other big issue in addition to COVID?
Well, if you put criminal justice aside and COVID aside, there's a lot of move around education. So you've got school choice. They're also looking at bright futures. And these aren't just little subtle changes. Many of them are structural changes. And so that's something to look out for.
I tell you what, it's going to be a ton of issues that are going to be difficult to navigate. Where do you guys see, as you've been navigating through the Capitol that's closed to the public and they're doing remote testimonies and things like that, how are you seeing messages coming into the Capitol? How are you guys getting into the Capitol to listen to those legislators and hear what they're saying and what they're advocating for?
Well, Agricultural Commissioner Nikki Fried today, actually, she hinted on that. She discussed how the public, given the protocol, is almost omitted from the process. I mean, we have Zoom testimony in other ways, but that traditional in-person sort of advocacy is no longer there.
Right.
Even for us in media, the protocols, to an extent, has limited us from visiting offices or approaching committee rooms, inside of committee rooms.
If you had to handicap the headlines out of Florida politics tomorrow on what happened today in the opening session, you know, what are your top narratives that Florida Politics will be sharing with readers?
I think we're seeing education really moving forward in the forefront. COVID liability is always going to be there. And I think, again, that difference we're seeing between the speaker and the president. Right.
Always that back and forth, right? And which issues are big in one chamber aren't necessarily in the other, and they always typically come to the end of session. So I'm assuming Peter's not going to give it all up today, and we're going to see Sunburn and Florida Politics there every day between now and May 1st, right?
I'd stay tuned.
Yeah, all right. Well, Jason, thanks so much for coming on FiTV for your first time. We're always a fan of all the writers from Florida Politics coming on, and we appreciate you sharing your insights.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's all the time we have for this episode of FiTV. For more great interviews like this one, make sure you hit us up on our social media. And for now, thanks for tuning in.